Is my screen visible, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Visible.
Prabhuji.
Shall we start?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So, few section from section E. I think from here we have left. From here we have to read. No, Mataji.
Correct, Prabhuji. Correct.
Answer to question 1 and 2. So 4 questions we have seen. Now 2 questions are left, and then Jnana Chakshu is left. So Prakriti, Purusha, and their union. So let's try to understand what is there in this part. Okay. So yesterday I told you to read Mangalacharan. So do you have the book with you? If you have, you can read with me.
Yes, Prabhuji.
I have the book. I'm opening my book. Okay. You can also open. Introduction part. We'll read together so that all of you can unmute yourself and read with me. You have the book, or should we search on online? Okay, we don't have too much time.
Share?
I don't have, Mataji. So let me check if it is there.
You want me to show the screen, Prabhuji? I have that print with me.
Database.
Database I'll open, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yeah.
Prabhuji, you want me to share?
Yes, shared, Mataji.
Okay. Prabhuji.
So this is the introduction part. So if you have the book, you can open, or if you have you can read on screen. So you'll read simultaneously. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manoabhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam
Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu
Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadakamelam Shri Guru
Vaishnava
Shri Rupam
Sagrajatam
Sagana
Sahavanatam Sadvaitam
Savadutam Parijan Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Vishakhan Vitancha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namaste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Namami Hari Panchakalpatarubhasya Kripa Sindhu Bhavevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Gaura Hare Krishna Hare
Krishna 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 Hare Hare
Hare
Hare
Rama
Rama Hare Rama
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 Hare
Rama
Hare.
Hare Hare.
So this is the Mangalacharan we used to recite before reading Bhagavad Gita daily morning. Okay. So this is the second the part which we have left in the 13th chapter. So we are going to read that. So 13.20 to 26. Lord Krishna explains Prakriti, Purusha and their union. So I'll mute every person. Okay. So Prakriti, Purusha and their union. So material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformation and the modes of matter are product of material nature. So some people have this confusion that, let me ask you, so that is it the confusion or not? This material nature is real or false? What do you think? Material nature is real or false?
It is false,
False,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji.
Real or false? False?
False,
It's false.
Prabhuji.
So that is the confusion. Okay. This material nature is real. This material nature is, so the concept is The concept is the material nature is also real and Jiva is also real. This material nature is also energy of Krishna only. And this Jiva is also energy of Krishna only. Both are energy of Krishna only. But where is the problem then? If both are energy of Krishna only, both are then real. Okay, so what is the problem? The problem is when this living entity comes to this material nature and acquire this body, he thinks himself as the material body. That is the problem. Otherwise, both are real. Both are energy of Krishna only. Okay. So that is the problem, that the Jiva thinks himself the body. Okay. And works according to the bodily concept. That is the problem. Okay. It is not false. It is true only. Okay. With this body only we can serve Krishna. Isn't it? If it is false, then how we can serve Krishna with this body? Devotees are there. They are serving Krishna with this body only. Okay, so this is not a false statement that material nature is false. Material nature is not false. Even Atma is there, that is also not false. So material nature and living entity both are eternal. So you see here, the word is material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Both are real. It is not like both are false. Okay, their transformation and the modes of matter are product of material nature. The transformation is there. It is not like that it is false. It is real. Material nature as well as living entity, both are real. With this body, if this body is false, how we can serve Lord with this body? Just we have to change the thinking that we are not this body, we are this soul. And with this body only, and this body we can utilize for serving to Krishna. Okay. So that is a very misunderstanding. Many people, every person will have, I used to have. Okay. So that is the concept. So material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformation and the modes of matter are a product of material nature. Okay. So transformation, all those are due to changes. Okay. Changes. So Chitra Mataji is there today with us.
Yes,
Hare
Prabhuji.
Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Karya karana kartritve hetu prakritiruchyate purusha sukha dukhanam bhoktritve heturuchyate.
Nature is said to be cause of all material activity and effect, whereas the living entity is the cause of various suffering and enjoyment in this world. Two things are there, nature and the living entity. So living entity desiring, okay. Living entity's work is to desire. Material nature will carry out, okay. So living entity desire, so that desire is the original, so that desire is the causative agent, okay. So whereas living entity is cause of, so that desire, that is the cause, okay. The living entity is cause, the original cause is the living entity only, and nature is said to be the cause of all material activity and effect. Whatever effect is there, that is caused by material nature, but living entity is the originator, okay. So living entity is the cause of various suffering and enjoyment in this world, okay.
Hare Krishna. Purusha prakriti stohi bhumte prakriti jan gunan karanam guna sangosya sad asad yoni janmasu.
So how the living entity is transforming. The living entity in the material nature thus follows the ways of life, enjoying the three modes of nature. So the living entity is trying to enjoy. He is thinking himself the body in this material world and trying to enjoy this material nature. This is due to his association with that material nature. He is not originally like this. When he is associating with the material nature, he is acting like this. Okay. Thus, he meets the good and evil amongst the various species. He will take the birth among various species due to the work due to the enjoyment, due to the, he is trying to enjoy the three modes of material nature. And due to this, he is taking different birth among different species, whether good or evil. Okay. So you see, so many species are being depicted here. So from this side, it is coming to an end, and this side again taking new body. So it is taking new body, and many bodies are there. So let's see. Living entity follow the ways of life according to the three modes. and desires to enjoy forges the bond between the Purusha and the Prakriti. Purusha and Prakriti. Okay, the bond, how it is getting, how the bond is being made due to desire to enjoy. Okay, and association with the material nature lead to different good and evil among the various species. Okay, so the desire, main thing is the desire. The desire, what desires we have? Do we have the desire to serve Lord, or do we have desire to serve Maya? Maya, serving Maya means this all the Prakriti is for my enjoyment. Let me enjoy all the Prakriti, all the nature. What desire we have? Okay, whether we have the desire to enjoy this material world, or we have desire to serve Krishna. So whether the based on that, if we have desire to enjoy this material world, that bond, it will make us, there will be bondage. Okay, the two types of karma which causes the bondage, that is karma and vikarma, both will cause the bondage. Okay, and the desire to enjoy, when we are desiring to enjoy, we are working here, will form some karma, some vikarma, and that will cause the bondage. Okay, so that is the thing. Now, so that was the material nature. That was the living entity who is desiring. That is the one part. Second part is the super soul. So what super soul is doing?
उपद्रष्टानुमन्ता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तः देहेऽस्मिन् पुरुषः परः.
So upadrishtanumanta cha. So upadrishtanu anumanta. So upadrishta anumanta. So two things are there. Upadrishta means he is overseer. Anumanta means he is giving anumati, permitter. Okay, so two things, the two works are there, which is depicted in one word, upadrishtanu mantacha. So the super soul is like overseer, he is seeing everything. Upadrishtanu. Upadrisht means to see, to oversee. So in her heart, Krishna is there as the super soul with the soul, so close that he is seeing everything. He's observing everything. That is called overseer. He is observing everything. Okay, and the permitter. So whatever desires we have, the super soul sanctions. That is called permitter. How it's sanctioned? Based on our desire and based on karma. Okay, so whatever desires we have, Krishna will permit. As the Paramatma form, Krishna will permit. Based on what? The desires we have and the karma which we have done earlier. So if the desire and karma is fitting, the super soul is permit and the nature will carry out. Okay, so the thing, yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is the Lord. One more thing, he is the transcendental enjoyer. So living it is like enjoyer. He is trying to enjoy this material world, but there is another transcendental enjoyer in this body only. So we have read in yesterday's chapter that this body is made of 24 elements. Okay, 24 elements we have seen. Then after 24 elements, there are two more things are there. One is the soul, which we have seen, the desirer part. He is the desiring. And due to his desire, he is taking birth among various species. Okay, he is making some good deeds, some bad deeds, some evil deeds. He is making due to his desires. Okay, and the second one is the transcendental nature, transcendental enjoyer, or the Paramatma, who is there as a super soul in our heart. So total, if you see in this body, 26 things are there, 24 elements, and one is soul and one is super soul. So we are reading now about the super soul. Yet in this body, there is another, a transcendental enjoyer who is Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists as the overseer and permitter, and who is known as super soul. So super soul is there. He is transcendental enjoyer, he is overseer, he is permitter. He is with us, overseer. He is observing everything. Some people, if they are under CCTV camera, they won't do any other activity. They will be very focused. Someone is observing, okay, like that. But if they come out of the CCTV room, they will be do anything, okay, like that. But Krishna is seeing us every time. Even not seeing, he's listening to whatever even we are thinking. So close to our heart, so close to the super soul, that he is observing everything. He is whatever we are thinking, he is observing. Okay, so that is the thing. And Krishna is the permitter. If we are desiring, and if we have the karma, Krishna will fulfill that. Okay, so that is the thing. We cannot um, um, we cannot means uh, in means Krishna is seeing everything. Okay, we cannot that we cannot falsify anything from Krishna. We cannot hiding is the word. We cannot hide anything from Krishna. He is so close, he is observing everything. Okay, so that is the thing, and that is the thing, that even if we pray to Krishna, that Krishna, we want to come close to you, Krishna will listen. Okay, so whatever desires we have, Krishna will fulfill according to that. So desires, our desires should be to come close to Krishna. Okay, so that is the third part, that is the super soul. Okay, one who understands this philosophy concerning the material nature, living entity, and the interactions of the mode of nature is sure to attain liberation. He will not take birth again, here again, regardless of his present position. Okay, so one who understands the physical nature, living entity, and the interaction of nature, these things. Okay, all these things, who has the gyan of all these things, he won't take birth again, regardless of his position. Result of knowing the philosophy is the liberation. One who understands the philosophy concerning the material nature, living entity, and the interaction. Okay, material nature, living entity, and the interactions is sure to attain liberation. Knowledge of truly understanding the relationship between the soul and super soul, result is liberation and return to the spiritual world. What is the purpose of knowledge? To understand how the living entity has fallen into the material world in a precarious condition, and how to understand our position. How to understand our position? What is our position? By reading. Okay, by understanding the philosophy. That super soul. So there are various to understand that condition of our soul. What is our soul's condition? How it is related to super soul? The various methods are there. So what is that methods? That super soul is perceived by some through meditation, by some through cultivation of knowledge, and by others through working without fruitive desires. So what these things are telling? These things are telling about different yoga practices. That super soul is perceived by some through meditation. What is that process called? The Ashtanga Yoga Paddhati. So some understand this, the absolute truth through the Dhyana Yoga or Ashtanga Yoga. By some through cultivation of knowledge, that is the Jnana Yoga, and by others through working without fruitive desire, that is the Karma Yoga. So different yoga practices are there, and they help understanding the Supreme Lord. So you see, understanding through various types of yoga. So Lords explain two classes of conditioned soul. One is the faithful in spiritual life. So there are three types: Dhyana, then the Sankhya Yoga, or the Karma Yoga. The Dhyana Yoga through the meditation, Sankhya Yoga through cultivation of knowledge, and Karma Yoga through working without fruitive desire. So that was the faithful in spiritual life. There is another type, conditioned soul, who doesn't have any belief in Lord. So atheist, agnostics, and skeptics are beyond the sense of spiritual understanding. It also includes those who establish the doctrine of monoism. What is that concept? It also includes, that very important concept is this. It also includes those who establish the doctrine of monoism. What does that mean? Monoism. That is called doctrine of monoism, means we and Lord both are same. Monoism. Okay, that is called monoism. That is called Mayavadi. Mayavadi means we are Krishna. We not Krishna. We are also Lord. Krishna is also Lord. Everything is Lord here. Okay, and we came to this world and we are covered by Maya. Okay, we are actually originally Lord only, but we came to this material world and we are covered by Maya. That is called monoism. This is also a kind of atheism, because there is no concept of Lord only. Everything is Lord only. Everything is equal then. Where is concept of Lord? I am also Lord. Krishna is also Lord. Okay, this book is also Lord. This mobile, everything, whatever thing is there, that is also Lord. So actually, that is kind of monoism only. That is kind of atheism only. Okay, so that is the thing. It also includes those who establish the doctrine of monoism. Okay, so that is also kind of atheism. That monoism means we and Lord is we, Krishna, everything is same. Okay, we are under Maya. That's why we came here. We actually originally are we are Lord, but we are under Maya, so we came here like that. Okay. Then the questions comes: if you are Lord, how can you come under Maya? Yes, that is the question. If you are Lord, originally, if you were Lord, how we came under Maya? Maya is under Krishna only. Maya is under Lord only. So how can Maya cover the Lord and Maya can send the person here in this material world? So that is the food for thought for them. It also includes those who establish the doctrine, a kind of atheism only. Okay. Devotees of Lord are best situated in spiritual understanding because they know that beyond the material nature are a spiritual world and supreme personality of Godhead who expands the Paramatma. So three phases of realization is there. That is the complete phase. Okay. So person who knows the Bhagwan phase of realization of Lord, that is called the complete knowledge. If a person is knowing only the Brahman phase, that is incomplete knowledge. Okay. If a person is knowing only the Paramatma form, that is incomplete knowledge. Both are coming from Lord, the Bhagwan form. That's why if a person is not knowing the Bhagwan form, that knowledge is incomplete. Okay, so that is the thing. Again, there are those who, although not convergent in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from authority, they also transcend the path of birth and death. So three in the previous sloka, Krishna has told three, that is the Dhyan Yogi, the Gyan Yogi, and the Karma Yogi. But apart from that, there is Bhakti Yogi also. And what is that Bhakti Yogi? Again, there are those who, although not convergent in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. When we hear about Krishna from others, because of their tendency to hear from the authority, they transcend the path of birth and death. They transcend. That is called Bhakti Yogi. Okay. So this is the thing. That even three people, first Krishna told about three things, then again he is telling about the bhaktas. Okay. Then last is the Jnana Chakshu, the vision of the knowledge. So Jnana Chakshu, one who can see super soul, living entity, and material nature in their proper perspective, sees through the eye of the knowledge. Okay. So these things Krishna has described: super soul, living entity, and material nature. Okay. Now he is telling, O chief of Bharata, know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of field of activity and the knower of activity. Field of activity means the body. Knower of activity means soul and super soul. What is there in this material world? Whole world. Material world, whole world. Material, the material energy and the super soul and the soul. That is the only thing. So if you see, in the other words, Krishna is saying, oh son of, know that whatever you see in existence, whatever we are seeing, that is made of the 24 elements and soul and super soul. So 24 elements are making the body, that is the field of activity. And the knower are two, soul and the super soul. So whatever we see in this material world are actually the field of activity and knower of activity. That's it. Okay, so know that whatever you see in existence, both the moving and the non-moving, is only a combination of field of activity and the knower of activity. Okay, actually these chapters seems very difficult because of these terms. Once you understand these terms, chapters are very easy. So spiritually realized person can distinguish between the spirit and the matter in all circumstances. Okay, so two types of moving and non-moving things are there. Whatever you see is combination of only field of activity and the knower of activity. Okay, so that we have learned in the previous sloka.
Hare Krishna. Prabhuji.
Yes,
Samam sarveshu bhuteshu tishtantam parameshwaram vinashyat savan avinashyantam yap pashyati sapashyati.
actual seer. Who are the actual seer? Who is seeing actually? Yeah, pashyati sapashyati. Those who see this actually sees. So one who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all bodies, and who understands that neither the soul nor the super soul is ever destroyed, actually sees. One who sees that this body, every body, this body, that body, every body, is having Krishna. Sarveshu bhuteshu. Sarveshu manushyanam, like that Krishna is not telling. Sarveshu bhuteshu, the who, whatever living entity is there, everyone. Okay, Sarveshu bhuteshu. Samam sarveshu bhuteshu. Samam means equal. Sarveshu means sabi, all. Bhuteshu means all the living entity. Not like sarveshu manushyeshu. It is not like that. Not only human, everyone. Okay. So one who sees the super soul accompanying the individual soul in all the bodies, and who understand that neither the soul nor the super soul is either destroyed, is actually the seer. Okay. So see this. Every one is part and parcel of Krishna. In the Paramatma form, Krishna is there in everyone's heart. And the person who is actual seer, the person who is the actual knower, he will see that everything is equal because everyone has Paramatma in his heart. Okay, and everyone he will see as part and parcel of Krishna. Okay. So one who sees the indestructible super soul always accompanying the indestructible individual soul in all body, that is actual seer. That is the person who is actually seeing. Okay, how this vision is possible? By good association with the real knower of spiritual subjects. When we associate with the knowledgeable person, actual seer person, actually our visions develops like that. Association, by good association with the real knowers of the subject. Okay. So the real knowledge is one who sees the three things in the proper perspective: the body, the proprietor of the body, and the super soul as the friend of the soul. One who sees these things clearly, that body is different from the soul, and soul and the super soul is there. Okay, the soul is there, soul is part and parcel of Krishna, and super soul is there, who is present in everyone's heart, and everyone is equal, because everyone is the soul, and it is part and parcel of Krishna only, and Krishna is there in everyone's heart as super soul. So he see Paramatma in everyone's heart. Okay, so who see the things in proper perspective, who see that body, who see the soul, and who see the super soul. Okay, that is the actual knowledge, actual seer. One who sees that super soul equally present everywhere in every living being does not degrade himself by his mind. Thus he approaches the transcendental destination. Okay, who sees that everyone has super soul and everyone is part in super soul only. So he doesn't differentiate between them. What is the current situation of living entity? Situation one has situated himself differently than in spiritual world. Current situation is we are thinking about only the material things only. What is the role of mind? So thing is, mind can be addicted to two things. Mind can be addicted to the senses. Mind can be so if the mind so see the thing, the level is first is the senses, then is the mind, then is the intelligence. So if mind is there, if mind is under control of the senses, then senses will be taking care of all the things. If mind is under control of the intelligence, then the intelligence will be taking care. So if the mind is listening to the senses, then whatever senses say, he will do. Senses are saying, okay, this food is very tasty, let me taste this food. So the senses will go, mind will like, okay, yes, we should taste this food. Okay, but if mind is under control of intelligence say, no, this food is like a poison. This food, if you eat, you will have poisonous effect later on. Don't eat this food. So if mind is under control of senses, then he will eat. If the mind is under control of intelligence, he won't eat. So the thing is, what is the role of the mind? Mind is generally addicted to sense gratification, which binds the living entity in the material world. Mind is listening to the senses, sense gratification. When mind turns to super soul, one becomes advanced. Then one approaches the transcendental destination. Okay, that is the actual seer. One who can see that all activity are performed by the body, which is created by material nature, and see that soul does nothing actually see. Many people get confused in this sloka. Okay, soul is doing nothing. Who is doing then? Body is doing. Who is doing then? So the thing is, Who is doing? Let's try to understand. The thing is, soul is doing nothing. Soul is just desiring. Okay. Who is carrying out? Carrying out is done by nature. This body is part and parcel of nature only. This body is part of nature only. This body is also made of this 24 elements. Whole material nature is made of 24 elements, and we are the soul, and along with that super soul is there in this body. That's it. Okay. So soul is doing nothing. So three things are there: soul, super soul, and this all 24 elements. Soul is desiring, super soul is permitting, and this all the 24 elements, the body is doing the work. Okay. So you see, one who can see that all activities are performed by body, which is created of material nature, and see that self does nothing actually. See. Okay. So the living entity or the jiva are just the cause. It is carried out by the body, entangled. When the soul comes under the contact of material nature, it is called entangle, binding. Okay. And this material body carries out all the functions. Okay. But original causative agent is the soul. Okay. When a sensible man ceases to see different identity due to different material body and see how beings are expanded everywhere, he attains to Brahman conception. When a sensible man ceases to see different identity, when we see that this person is different, that person is different, every person is different based on our outer bodily thing. Some person is black, some person is fair, some person is short-heighted, some person is long-heighted, like that. Every person is unequal. Every person is different. Every person is different in this world. Not person. Every animals, everyone is different. They have certain differences. And if we see that differences only, then that is not called Brahman conception. If we see that this is also part and parcel of Brahman, the Supreme Lord, that person is also part and parcel of Supreme Lord. Everyone is coming. What is the common in every living entity? They are part and parcel of Supreme, and Paramatma is there in every person's heart. If we see like that, then that is called Brahman conception. Okay, we are attaining the Brahman conception. We are attaining the self conception. Okay. So vision actuals here, all the activity are performed by the body, which is created by material nature. Self does nothing. Then the second sloka, see, when does he attain the Brahman conception? When ceases to see different identity due to different bodily material body, thus absence of any material differences because of the different body, he see how beings are expanded everywhere. Okay. So purified consciousness can thus develop Krishna consciousness. So
Hare Krishna. Anaditva nirgunatvat paramatmyam avyayah sharirastopi kaunteya na karoti na lipyate. Hare Krishna.
those with the vision of eternity can see that the imperishable soul is transcendental, eternal, and beyond the mode of nature. Despite contact with material body, O Arjuna, the soul neither does anything nor entangled. Okay. So the person who is established in Brahman vision, even if that is in the body, it is not entangled with the body. Okay. The person, the soul which is there in the body. Okay. If it is seeing like in the Brahman conception, if he is in Brahman conception, even if he is in the body, he is not mixed with the body. Just like the example is there. The sky, due to its subtle nature, does not mix with anything, although it is all pervading. Similarly, the soul situated in Brahman vision does not mix with the body, though situated in the body. Just like the sky is there and clouds are there. The sky and cloud are different. Yet the cloud is in the sky, but they are not mixed. Okay. Similarly, the Brahman, the soul is there in the body. In the Brahman vision, the soul is not mixed with the body. Okay. He will understand the soul is different, body is different. So that is the example Krishna is giving, the sky and the cloud. One more example. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all this universe, so that the living entity, one within the body, illuminates the entire body by consciousness. If single one sun is there in one place, whole universe it is getting illuminated. Okay. So small sun is there and whole universe is getting illuminated. Similarly, The soul is there, 1/10 part of the tip of the hair inside the body, and it is illuminating the whole body with consciousness. Okay, so that is the thing. It's very small, and whole body is illuminating with the consciousness. That example Krishna is giving as the sun illuminating all the universe. Two examples we have seen. One is the cloud in the sky. Cloud in the sky. Cloud is not mixing with the sky. The soul is not mixing with the body when the soul is in Brahman conception. And second example, the soul is illuminating whole body. Soul is different, body is different, and soul is illuminating whole body. Okay.
Hare Krishna. Kshetra kshetrajnayorevam antaram jnana chakshusha bhuta prakriti moksham cha ye viduryanti te param.
One who knowingly see this difference between the body and the owner of the body can understand the process of liberation from this bondage, also attains to the supreme goal. The difference between the body and the soul. One who understands this body and soul difference, he can understand the process of liberation from the bondage. Okay. So that is the 13.35. So this is a summary of the chapter. So seeing with the eye of the knowledge, okay, Jnana Chakshu, the difference between the body, the knower of the body, the process of liberation from the bondage of material nature. Okay, this is the process. Result is one attains the supreme goal. So the things we have seen is, let's summarize so that you won't confuse. The body is there, that is called Kshetra. Then the knower of the body is there, that is called soul and the super soul. Okay, the difference between the knower and these we have seen the knowledge. Okay, 20 items we have seen about the knowledge. Then the object of the knowledge, the soul and super soul, the difference we have seen between the soul and super soul. Then we started today with Prakriti and the nature. Prakriti and the Jiva and the super soul, these interaction, Prakriti and Jiva and the interaction. In that we have seen that how the jiva is there, and the jivas are the desirers, they are desiring, and this material nature with 24 elements are carrying out, and the super soul is sitting as an overseer and the permitter. Okay, and 24 items we have seen yesterday. So 26 things are there in this material, 24 items of material elements. One is soul and the super soul. So those things we have read, and one person who is the actual seer will see the difference between the body, soul, and the super soul. And that is the one who sees actually these things is perfect for the liberation, and one also attain the supreme goal. Okay, so these things we have seen. So that is the summary only. We have seen the summary. 6th question: Prakriti Purusha Kshetra Kshetragya Gyan Geyam. So Krishna started with 3rd and 4th sloka, Kshetra and Kshetragya. 3rd and 4th questions, Kshetra and Kshetragya. So from 2 to 7 verse, Krishna answered Kshetra and Kshetragya. Okay, Kshetra is the field of activity, and the Kshetragya is the knower of the field. Okay, then 8 to 12 sloka, Gyan and Geyam. The process of knowledge and liberation is called Jnana, and 13 to 19 we have seen the object of the knowledge. Okay, then 20 to 26 we have seen the last 2 questions, Prakriti and Purusha. So Prakriti, Purusha and their union, and at last we have seen 27 to 35 Jnana Chakshu, the vision of the knowledge. Okay, so this is the summary of the chapters. Okay, so we have finished 13 chapter. I hope you have understood. Little bit confusion may be there, so requested to read the chapter quickly so that you can get the if you have any confusion you can ask. Okay, so like that it will be okay. Anything, anyone wants to ask anything, or I have class from 8, so few minutes we have, we can discuss, or we can, I'll just stop the YouTube live.